Welcome back to Droanacharya IAS YouTube channel. I am Dr. Daman Benipal and I'll be presenting you today daily editorial analysis. So in this video lecture, we'll be discussing some of the important editorials, some of the important articles from today's newspaper. So let's begin with this video. आज का हमारा पहला न्यूज़ आर्टिकल और द एडिटोरियल इट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम जीएस पेपर 2 पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. ये जीएस पेपर 2 पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से काफ़ी इम्पॉर्टेंट है. दिस आर्टिकल इज़ अबाउट राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एंड द टाइटल ऑफ दिस आर्टिकल इज़ नीड टू प्रोटेक्ट द विसल ब्लोअर्स. So basically the users, those who use right to information, what issues, what threats they face, this articles indicate that. And it basically shows कि हमारे पास right to information एक ऐसा aspect है which keeps the democracy alive. So we need to protect those who use right to information as a tool for that. And therefore the heading of this article is need to protect the whistleblowers. Now before we deep dive this particular article, we need to clear some of the basics regarding right to information. It is a very important topic from your mains point of view. आप इसे अपनी पॉलिटी एंड गवर्नेंस क्लासेस में काफ़ी डिटेल में कवर करते हैं. तो कुछ हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड देख लेते हैं, कुछ बेसिक क्लियर कर लेते हैं राइट टू इन्फॉर्मेशन को लेकर एंड देन वी विल मूव अहेड. सो whenever we talk about right to information, this gained power when Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted. So in 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted. And it was this time when the right to information gained power. Because right to information provides everyone the right to seek, receive information, to receive ideas through any media, regardless of any kind of frontier. So the beginning of right to information, when did it gain the power? It was in 1948. And then in 1966, we have international covenant on civil and political rights. Civil and political rights. It stated that everyone shall have the right to freedom of expression, along with this freedom to seek, impart information and ideas of all kinds. तो जो 1948 में जिस चीज़ की शुरुआत हुई थी उसे और भी ज़्यादा रीअफर्म किया गया in 1966. तो ये दो जो कन्वेंशंस हैं ये काफ़ी इम्पॉर्टेंट हैं. तो 1966 में तो ये कह दिया गया कि जितना इम्पॉर्टेंट राइट टू फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन है, significantly उतना ही important freedom to seek and impart information है. And in this regard, there's a very important statement that has been given by Thomas Jefferson, who says that information is the currency of democracy. So suppose you're writing an answer regarding the right to information, and in that you write this statement which has been given by Thomas Jefferson, in which he says that information is the currency of democracy. So such kind of things add value to your answer. You can write this statement somewhere. Always remember, information is the currency of democracy. It is very critical to the emergence and development of a vibrant civil society. When we talk about democracy, in that democracy the civil society has to be very vibrant. And information plays an important role in the development of such a vibrant civil society. However, with a view to set out a practical regime for the citizens to secure information as a matter of right, for that India's Parliament enacted Right to Information Act 2005. ताकि एज अ हम जो मैटर ऑफ राइट के तौर पे हम इंफॉर्मेशन को सिक्योर कर पाएँ, वी हैव अ RTI एक्ट। लेकिन ऑल्दो ये इनैक्ट हुआ 2005 में, लेकिन जब हम इसकी जेनेसिस देखते हैं तो कुछ 1986 से इसकी जेनेसिस स्टार्ट हो जाती है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट की कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट जजमेंट्स आती हैं। मिस्टर कुलवाल वर्सेस जयपुर म्युनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन केस, जिसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा था कि जो फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच एंड एक्सप्रेशन है विच इज़ प्रोवाइडेड अंडर आर्टिकल 19, इट ऑल्सो इम्प्लाइज द राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन। तो जब भी आप राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन की बात करते हैं, it relates to Article 19. This is said by Supreme Court. As because without information, the freedom of speech and expression cannot be fully used by the citizen. So both of these things, information and freedom of speech and expression, they are related. Without information, you cannot exercise the freedom of speech and expression. So I wanted you to know that how important is the right to information before we begin with the article. Now, यहाँ से अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं कि what is the objective of RTI Act? RTI Act का objective क्या है? Now, it is giving you the right to information. So, it is empowering the citizens. जब आपको right to information मिल गया, so it is empowering citizen. Along with that, it is promoting transparency, right? And along with transparency, it also improves the accountability of your government. It has empowered the citizens. It has promoted the transparency and accountability. Along with that, it will also help you to contain corruption. It's a very important tool to contain corruption as well. And also, जब आपके पास एक matter of right आ चुका है, it will enhance people's participation in the democratic process as well. Right? So, for these, objectives, we have the RTI Act. And अगर हम reasons भी देखें कि हमने Information Act को adopt क्यों किया, तो factors भी यही थे. There were so many corruptions going on, there were so many scandals, जिसे लेकर RTI Act का आना ज़रूरी था. Along with that, there was this international pressure and activism for this particular act also. And slowly, our society is becoming modernized, and there's an informed society. So to cater this society, we need RTI Act, Right to Information Act. So with this, now we'll proceed that what are the important points that has been highlighted in this particular article. So one of the important issue that the RTI users they are facing, if you see that there are so many people are dying who seek the Right to Information Act, who want information, who want to exercise their right to information, the users they are facing death threats. And we know that how important right to information is to keep our democracy alive. And this is a threat to democracy itself. So this is what we are going to cover in this article. Now if we talk about the importance of the RTI Act, there's this Center for Law and Democracy. It classifies RTI Act among the top 5 laws in the world. So the importance of RTI Act आपको यहीं से पता चल जाएगी कि वर्ल्ड के टॉप 5 लॉज में RTI Act एक है. तो जैसे ही राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट आया 2005 में, इससे इफ एनी सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया they have requested the government for any information, so they get a timely response for that. It mandates a timely response for the citizens' request for any information. Citizens इस एक्ट के थ्रू एम्पावर हुए हैं. They are participating in the policy making process by providing them access to information, about the functioning of the public authority. You are empowering the citizen. The participation of citizens is improving in the policy making process. And as we just said, it promotes accountability and transparency. Now, the ordinary citizen, they can use this law to make the public authorities accountable for their actions, and also there should be the transparency in their functioning. And then, if we see that this law has been extensively used by a cross section of citizens, जिसमें activists भी आ जाते हैं, lawyers भी आ जाते हैं, bureaucrats, researchers, journalists, ordinary folk, there's extensive uses of this act. It helps us to ask questions regarding the use of public funds. We can ask questions and we can pursue the answers about that. We can unearth the corruption of all kinds from the panchayat level till the parliament level. And of course, with the widespread understanding of it, with the use of RTI, it is a perfect example, it's a shining example of a participatory democracy. And which is, in spite of our current realities, the participatory democracy, in that RTI plays a very significant role. So this is the importance of this particular act. But in this article, we are mostly going to talk about, there is one issue with this act. Because if we see this report, जब से RTI Act implement हुआ है, तब से there were 100 RTI activists who were killed across the country. And in this regard, Bihar ranks at first number. When it comes to the death of RTI users, Bihar is one state which is at number 1. So the death of the activist, this is a dangerous underside of RTI, because it is manifesting itself through some violent reactions. There is this powerful lobby, जिनके interest अगर hamper हो रहे हैं because of the RTI, this leads to the violent reaction, and we see the death of the RTI users, the death of the activist. This is the most important concern that has been highlighted with respect to the RTI Act, and now you will understand the heading of this article. We need to protect the whistleblowers, because the report suggests that there is one dangerous underside to the RTI, which is the death of the activist. Now, along with this brutal murders, there is lack of state responsibility as well. This has not only raised the question on the urgent, the protection of the people, but also the state responsibility to provide legal assistance. Along with legal assistance, if somebody has filed RTI, there should be time-bound grievance redressal. There should be compensation. There should be the access to justice to the families of those who were killed. So state responsibility also needs to be checked over here. Now, the whistleblowers, the users of the RTI, they are performing their basic civil duty, the civil duty of public vigilance. But when we see that the RTI users are killed right now, there is murder of RTI users going on. So this basically reflects that there is this collusion of police with powerful interest, and on the other side, you have your whistleblowers. So, how to tackle this? What is the need of the hour? See, the need is to move towards, to create a socio-legal system in which you recognize that RTI users, they are under attack. They are under attack as the human rights defenders. They are building up a framework. We need to build such kind of a framework that will facilitate and protect them in their attempt to pursue the issues of public interest. So we need to work towards creating our social legal system in such a way that we are recognizing RTI users that they are the defenders of our human rights. Along with this, we need a time-bound manner expedition of cases. The state governments have to direct the law enforcement agencies to complete the investigation of all the cases where the RTI users are harassed. So all these kind of expedition cases we need a time bound solution to that as well. Apart from this, there has to be the adequate compensation. The victim's family, they must be given the adequate compensation. And state governments must take immediate efforts to institutionalize this proactive disclosure of the actionable information. ये जो डिस्क्लोजर है इन्फॉर्मेशन का, इसको लेकर इमीडिएट एफर्ट्स करने होंगे एंड वी नीड टू इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज दिस पर्टिकुलर मेजर्स फॉर दैट एज वेल. अब यहाँ पे राजस्थान का जन सूचना पोर्टल इम्पॉर्टेंट है. इट वॉज फॉलोड बाय कर्नाटका में आया कर्नाटकाज माहिती कनाजा. दीज आर सम ऑफ द आउटस्टैंडिंग एग्जाम्पल कि किस तरीके से जो राइट टू इन्फॉर्मेशन है उसको मैंडेटरी डिस्क्लोजर के साथ प्रैक्टिकल वे में कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट किया जाए. राजस्थान का जन सूचना पोर्टल एंड कर्नाटका का माहिती कनाजा. सो इन ऑल द केसेस ऑफ थ्रेट्स and attacks and the killing of the RTI users, the State Information Commission must immediately direct the relevant public authority to disclose that information, to publicize all the question that was raised by the RTI user, and to answer all answers that were given to the user. अगर किसी भी RTI यूज़र के ऊपर अटैक होता है, किलिंग होती है, तो जो क्वेश्चन उन्होंने रेज किया था उसे डिस्क्लोज करना चाहिए. Apart from this, we need effective legislation so that we can protect the whistleblowers, we can protect the RTI users. In 2016 itself, Supreme Court came down heavily on Union government for the reluctance in notifying the Whistleblower Protection Act 2014. So there is this proper Whistleblowers Protection Act 2014, but there is reluctance in notifying it. The state governments like Bihar and Maharashtra, which have highest number of murders of the RTI activists, they need to introduce their mechanism to protect the whistleblowers, to protect the RTI users. And for that, at least they can develop a state level whistleblower protection law. If the central law is not there, such kind of states should have a state level protection law. So this was a very good article that was given in today's The Hindu newspaper regarding the RTI Act and the whistleblowers. Now we'll move ahead. We'll discuss another article which is about the Family Courts Amendment Bill 2022. It is important from GS paper 2 point of view. Recently, Lok Sabha has passed a bill in which a statutory cover has given to family courts. So in Himachal Pradesh and Nagaland, there are family courts, and these family courts are already established, and now they are granted the statutory cover. And along with that, all the actions that has been taken by these family courts in Himachal and Nagaland, they are validated retrospectively as well. We'll see this in much more detail. When it comes to family courts, so there is an important act which is Family Courts Act 1984. ये 1984 में इस एक्ट को पास किया गया था, and this law basically allowed the state government to establish family courts. इन family courts में जो family affairs हैं, जो marriage related affairs हैं, ताकि उनके conciliation हो सके, वो dispute वहाँ पे resolve हो सके, इसके लिए states को ये provision दिया गया था कि they can establish the family courts. And this entire setting up of a family court and their functioning, this came under the purview of the state government with the consultation of the respective high court. जो state की high court है, उसके साथ मिलकर ये state जो family courts हैं, इनकी governance चल रही थी. इस act में जजेस किस तरह अपॉइंट किए जाएंगे उसका प्रोविजन भी मेंशन है. हाउ टू अपॉइंट जजेस फॉर द फैमिली कोर्ट, दैट इज ऑल्सो मेंशन इन दिस पर्टिकुलर एक्ट. एंड द सेंटर हैज टू नोटिफाई अ डेट फॉर द एक्ट टू कम इन टू फोर्स, इन अ पर्टिकुलर स्टेट वेयर सच कोर्ट्स हैव बीन सेट अप. तो यहाँ पे सेंटर के पास पावर है दैट दे विल नोटिफाई अ डेट दैट फॉर द एक्ट टू कम इन टू द फोर्स. अब यहाँ पे न्यूज़ में है फैमिली कोर्ट्स अमेंडमेंट बिल 2022। तो अमेंडमेंट की ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ गई? What is the need for an amendment? So see, if we check the scenario of the family courts across the country, so over 11.4 lakh cases are pending in the family courts also. 2 courts, they were established in Nagaland in 2008 and 3 courts were established in Himachal Pradesh in 2019, and notifications were issued by the state governments for this, because state government has to establish the family courts. However, these courts were functioning without any legal authority, because there was no central notification that was issued, which is जो हमने पहले कहा कि सेंटर के पास ये पावर है कि वो नोटिफिकेशन इशू करेंगे. So they were functioning without any legal authority क्योंकि सेंटर की तरफ से कोई नोटिफिकेशन ही नहीं आया. And this entire issue came into limelight after a petition was filed in Himachal Pradesh High Court, which is Omkar Sharma versus State of Himachal Pradesh. तब ये इशू उठा कि ओके फैमिली कोर्ट वर्क कर रही है लेकिन कोई लीगल अथॉरिटी ही नहीं है उसके पास, सेंटर ने नोटिफिकेशन रिलीज नहीं किया है. So it added that this would render that the void anything done or any action that has been taken under the order issued by the court, it may become void because there is no legal authority. तो इसीलिए अमेंडमेंट आई कि जितनी भी लीगलिटी को लेकर इश्यूज हैं उन सबको टाइड ओवर किया जाए. एंड विद दिस अमेंडमेंट जो भी एक्शंस फैमिली कोर्ट्स ने लिए थे, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने लिए थे, including the appointment of the judicial officers and the court staff, all of this has been validated retrospectively. जब से वो फंक्शन कर रहे हैं तब से लेकर अब तक उन्होंने जो भी एक्शंस लिए हैं उन सबको वैलिडेट कर दिया गया है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस सम चेंजेस हैज़ बीन प्रपोज्ड. एक न्यू सेक्शन आएगा, सेक्शन 3A, जिसमें जो हिमाचल प्रदेश की एप्लीकेशन है उसे एक्सटेंड किया जाएगा हिमाचल एंड नागालैंड. एंड यहाँ पे डेट दी जाएगी जब से फैमिली कोर्ट सेटअप हुई है इन स्टेट्स के अंदर. एंड ऑल द एक्शन दैट हैज़ बीन टेकन इन बोथ ऑफ दीज स्टेट्स बिफोर द कमेंसमेंट ऑफ दिस अमेंडमेंट विल बी वैलिड. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस, कोई भी फैमिली कोर्ट जज की अपॉइंटमेंट हो, पोस्टिंग हो, प्रमोशन हो, ट्रांसफ़र हो, एवरीथिंग विल बी वैलिड इन दीज 2 स्टेट्स फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ देयर एस्टैब्लिशमेंट. ओके, ये भी द हिंदी न्यूज़पेपर में आज ये आर्टिकल दिया गया था. That is all for this video. आज की इस वीडियो के लिए इतना ही. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in my next one. Thank you so much.